After Eugene Donnelly's wins in Galway and the Circuit of Ireland Rally, it had become crunch time then for the competitors as they headed to the Rally of the Lakes in Killarney. But who could stop that Toyota Corolla? That was the question. Well, Tim McNulty and Derek McGarity in their Subaru S11s, they had to be fancied. And Eamon Boland, just 6 points behind in the championship, was there in the Ford Focus. Good too to see Donny O'Sullivan back on the stages in a hired Subaru. But to win in Killarney, you have to tame those famous stages. Stages like Moll's Gap, Ballabima, and of course, Carroll Lake.
The Killarney District Motor Club have assembled a superb 17-stage rally, and the May bank holiday weather has cast a sunny outlook on this, the 27th running of the event.
Stunning scenery and fantastic stages make the Ordnance Survey International Rally of the Lakes one of the most popular in the international rally calendar. And now the Killarney District Motor Club have added in new, even faster stages, which promise to make the next 2 days even more exhilarating.
Flat out of the stages, but the big news was that Eugene Donnelly's rally nearly fell flat before it started. The series leader was handed a letter threatening his exclusion the day before the start, after the organisers read a newspaper article in a Belfast paper where Eugene commented that the 2-day recce time was tight, encouraging illegal wrecking. It's a disconsolate Donnelly at the start ramp.
Killarney is always a difficult rally, it's always a long rally. We'll see what happens.
Number 2 seed Derek McGarity needs to be fast to get back up the tarmac points.
What do you reckon will be your optimum speed?
Well, this is geared for approximately 235 kilometres, so I'll be on it a fair percentage of the time.
Tim McNulty, so fast in Galway, is hoping to speed up his championship hopes.
Killarney and the Lakes are going to go as two very fast rallies, probably the two fastest tarmac rallies, and you expect that when you come down here, so it's about that, it's top speed stuff.
But a local ace is returning, Donny O'Sullivan, and he could be the dark horse in a hired Subaru S9.
Round 3 of this 8-round championship, and 9 stages lie ahead on day 1, with the classic Moll's Gap and Gortnagan stages opening the action. The 3 new tests, though, they'll be where the World Rally cars will really get to stretch their legs. These are run twice in the afternoon before Gortnagan is reversed to finish the day. A somewhat bewildered Eugene Donnelly lines up for the first Moll's Gap stage, the threat of exclusion having been lifted just hours previously. He'd even contemplated pulling out of the rally. The crowds who've gathered in their multitudes are no doubt happy to see that Eugene and co-driver Paul Kiley are heading up the gap. But the Baccarat driver is admitting that the whole scenario before the rally start has demotivated him considerably, and he only sets 5th fastest time on the opening stage. Stage 2, Gortnagan, and it's a much more familiar attack, however. He's 2nd fastest on this stage and heads for the first of the super fast stages, Rockchapel.
Flat 1 right left cuts 80, flat 2 left cuts 40, flat crest, flat left and right over crest 100.
By the end of this 3rd test, he'll be in 4th place, 19 seconds off the lead. The Corolla reaching maximum revs on the straight.
Let it in to keep 3 right plus cuts at the tree, 150. Flat left over crest, 200. Flat 1 right, 250. Keep tight, flat 1 left, cut 60. Flat 1 right, brake 80, turn square left, tightens. 60. Flat crest there middle, 250. Flat 2 left and right, and brake for long 5 left plus. Brake for long 5 left plus. 5 right plus opens, use the road. 170.
Derek McGarity starts the rally looking to make up for his Circuit of Ireland disappointment, and Mall's Gap is one of his all-time favourite tests.
Left 80, left again 80, right 40.
The 2005 Mall's Gap record holder will not be fastest this morning though. He's third quickest, just 6 seconds off the pace. Derek knows that the rally will not be won on the first stage.
Square left plus.
The Belfast driver is going well, but drops another few seconds on stage 2. By stage 3, he's fifth, just 18 seconds off the lead, but he feels the need to give himself a wake-up call.
Left, don't touch. 60. Pressing the turn 3 right, neat.
Tim McNulty has woken up very quickly though.
And left over crest, good line, 250. Absolute left, 250. Stay out, but absolute fast left and right, okay, 300.
The Meath man races up the gap in spectacular style, recording second fastest time, just 4 seconds off the lead. He's a little too spectacular here on stage 2 at Gortnagan though. You can see the seconds ticking away. And further down the test, there's another little error.
Very tight. And square right. Oh,
But despite these time-consuming mistakes, the man who showed so much speed in Galway is only half a second off the lead after being fastest on stage 3.
an absolute crest long.
So what about these new fast stages? Are you absolutely on the limit?
Yeah, there's not much left in it, Pamela. Sometimes you just have to wonder will the car and the tyres hold on to a few of the corners, but yeah, there isn't, and they're not very technical, so it's hard to make times. You just hope that you're within a second or two of the lads, you know.
But Eamon Boland is minutes off the pace after a gearbox hydraulic problem on the first 2 tests. In marked contrast, local man Donny O'Sullivan is fastest up the gap by 4 seconds. He has finished as high as second on this rally before. With co-driver Sean Mullally, he's hoping to be the first Killarney driver to win the event.
Yeah, we were quite surprised to be on the pace, to be honest, but the car is fantastic. Sean is doing a fantastic job in the notes, and I seem to be doing a good job myself, so everything's working fine, yeah.
Cork's Dennis Cronin with Helen O'Sullivan on the notes is 9th after 3 tests. The pairing complaining of being a bit rusty. Dusty is JJ Fleming's complaint as he's caught and passed Nigel Hicklin. 11th is young Aaron McHale, the third of the family to move into the WRC Focus. But about to be locked in the leading race, however, is Gareth Jones. The Welshman with Cork's David Moynihan on the notes is fastest on stage 2 to lie third. But for George Collins Impreza, which was 6th, it's a bridge too far. Amazingly, the Subaru keeps going, but George will be out of the trophies this weekend. A man who's been out of the trophies for many years is a returning Stephen Murphy. The Carlo driver, twice a national champion, is an impressive 7th despite this spin on Gortnagan.
With so many World Rally cars in the field, this Ordnance Survey Killarney Rally of the Lakes is throwing up a few surprises, including loose gravel on the tarmac tests. The rally leader is not in trouble with the gravel, but with oil pressure problem. And just up the road on stage 6, Donny retires the S9. On stage 5, Tim McNulty had got ahead of Donny, and he is highly motivated.
Come on! 100. Absolute fast right, use the road. 500 up mid. Turn square
The
right.
Pierce Subaru is running faultlessly and will extend its lead to 23 seconds after this super fast stage.
Absolute left, 200. Absolute right over crest, 200 up mid.
The Subaru is speeding away from the opposition as Tim looks for his first decent finish of the season. Derek McGarity is a former All-Ireland forestry champion, and this should stand him in good stead for those loose sections in stage 5. By stage 6, the Pirelli Matcom Subaru is 4th, 39 seconds off the lead. 10 of those seconds being lost as the car's water injection unit had failed.
The car's going well, new car for you?
Car's going great. Last few stages, but they're ridiculously fast stages. You know, it's just a bit silly, the speeds.
And what speeds were you topping out at?
Well, the car's probably pulling about 235 kilometres, but it's prolonged 235 kilometres. It's just going. It'll burst, it'll break cars.
Eugene Donnelly is picking up the pace.
60. Black crest
He is now up to 4th place and is fastest in stage 6 by just half a second, but it is a very demoralised Donnelly who is reflecting on the events leading up to the rally.
If anybody has taken offence out of what I have said, I'm only here for the interest of the sport. All I want is the safety of Paul and myself in this car and fellow competitors. Like, that's it at the end of the day.
And then you've got to sit behind the wheel and get the work done, so you've got to get your mind around that. And you had a fairly slow start to the day.
I just want to get the rally over. Just get out of here. Just a few weeks to Donegal and that's it, like, you know.
Far from downbeat though is Gareth Jones, who was fastest in stage 4. The Welsh charger, who went so well on the Circuit of Ireland, is up to 2nd overall after stage 6. Moving up is Stephen Murphy in an excellent 5th. Dennis Cronin is also speeding up, ending the first day in 6th despite an overheating engine. Alan McHale on his first Ford Focus WRC drive is an impressive 8th, despite a faulty intercom, having surrendered 7th to a recovering Eamon Boland. Nigel Hickland is having his first Subaru drive in 10th, and he has got past JJ Fleming in 12th, who's lucky to be still in the rally as his car is stuck in 3rd gear. Whilst Dennis Biggerstaff has a huge fright here in 20th, and Paddy White is 23rd and has a clutch problem. There's little time to reflect on the beautiful Killarney weather for the crowd, or for Stephen Murphy, who is proving that he's lost none of his speed in his borrowed Subaru. He's 5th.
It's been 7 years since I've done an international. I suppose it's a whole new learning curve, but I'm very happy just settling into the car. And it's a fine machine, but it's just to know how far to push it. You know, that's the biggest problem.
Gareth Jones' problem was an off on stage 7, which dropped him from 2nd to 4th, but he hasn't given up, and his last stage time was right on the pace.
Very, very fast stages, you know, when there's a few corners, you cringe at the speed you go around them, but you keep it in and hopefully pace will stay there until tomorrow.
Derek McGarty is 3rd and still suffering those water injection problems. Not ideal in the hot weather, as the Impreza is not running to its optimum temperature. The 2003 champion is hoping to have it fixed and to put the pressure on the gap in the morning. Overcoming the psychological pressure, Eugene Donnelly is 2nd. But the pressure is really on Tim McNulty, who leads his first international since Galway. He rounds off the day 11 seconds faster than anyone on the last test to lead by 40 seconds.
Kept the head down in Pamela, and I think we had a good time the last stage, so I want to make sure Eugene and Derek didn't get the jump on us. You know, it was a long technical stage, and I think we come out on top, so another day's battle to do tomorrow.
Day 2 of the Ordnance Survey Rally of the Lakes. The remaining crews get ready to tackle Moll's Gap for the 2nd time, with the Bertie Fisher Perpetual Trophy going to the fastest man up the gap. But Day 2 also contains the superb rock-strewn Ballochbima test, Cara Lake and the fast Kilgobnet stage. Tim McNulty, compared to some of his rivals, is a comparative gap novice. With Anthony Nestor on the notes, he's aware of the time that can be made up over these 12.7 miles, and he's 2nd fastest over the test with a time of 9:21.1. Sunday dawns brighter for Eugene Donnelly and Paul Kiley, who must be pleased to be 2nd in their older Corolla WRC. They demonstrate the type of commitment it takes to be fast up this road.
150. Brake for a small let in, brake 2 left tight, square left tight, and stone cut.
The pairing admit to a few wrong settings on the Corolla, and a slightly wrong tyre choice on the back of the car is affecting its handling as seen here towards the end of the very abrasive gap. In contrast, Derek McGarity has his problems resolved, and the Belfast driver sets to work with a will.
5 left plus 80, right 150, flat crest, keep right of line 150.
He's absolutely flying, and last year's Bertie Fisher Trophy winner is aiming to lift that title once again.
Keep in 5 right, don't lift 400.
Derek is fastest up the gap with a time of 9 minutes 15, 6 seconds up on Tim McNulty, a time that briefly moves him into second spot. Gareth Jones in fourth is a Malls Gap novice, and he's aiming to hold his position. That won't stop him being third fastest on stage 12 and second fastest on stage 13, however. Stephen Murphy's made a wrong tyre choice, but he's still 26 seconds behind Gareth Jones' sister car by midday. Eamon Boland is really on a march though. He's fastest on stage 11 at Ballacbema and is now just 30 seconds down on Murphy. Such has been the Wexford driver's charge. But Dennis Cronin nearly charges the wall at Malls Gap. He's lucky to still be 7th, as a hard-trying Aaron McHale, whose brother Gareth is doing Rally Argentina, is 8th.
Must be a bit lonely. You're here home alone.
No, yeah, all the rest of them are in Argentina. My mother's in Madrid and my sister's in Punchestown, so there's nobody else here. They're all long distance away.
Derek McGarity realises that Tim has been getting away at the front, and he's charging.
40, 3 left minus at pole, 60.
He charges down the Ballacbema stage and towards the infamous jumps.
Flat jump, to crest, 80, right over crest at pole.
The Subaru launches over them, but Derek's attack is being stemmed as he actually loses 13 seconds to Tim here, and by stage 13 he's back to third. That's no disgrace, however, as Derek is suffering from a touch of the Killarney cramps.
The car's fixed, but the driver isn't?
Yeah, well, I got a touch of food poisoning yesterday, unfortunately, so I spent the night in the bathroom, let's say.
And how are we feeling today?
Not very good, but there's nothing we can do about it. You know, we can just have to bladder on as best we can.
Well, that helps take the pressure off Eugene Donnelly. Just as well as here in Ballacbema, he lost 20 seconds to Tim McNulty and 7 to an off-form Derek McGarity. With the wipers on at stage 12 at Cara Lake, Eugene wipes the opposition by 4 seconds. The turn in the Killarney weather has brought thoughts of a win back, and he's fastest on the next Kilgobnet stage. He now has 59 seconds to make up, and the wet weather is suiting his Corolla.
Same thing this morning. Motivation wouldn't really be high priority, but you know, it's obviously, it's plain to be seen I like the wet, and when the rain comes I didn't do anything different. I just drove the way I like to drive, you know, and I like the wet, and it suits the car and suits the tyres, you know.
Tim McNulty is driving superbly. He's second fastest to Eamon Boland on Ballacbema, but more importantly knocking 13 seconds off nearest pursuer Derek McGarity.
Absolute left, 250. Absolute fast right and left over crest, line, 450.
We've got to stay on the game and concentrate. Hopefully, you know, a couple of seconds here or there doesn't matter. Hopefully at this stage, I think we've about 58 seconds, so fingers crossed, yeah, the rally's not over.
And with those raindrops falling, Eugene Donnelly doesn't think so either, as the 27th Rally of the Lakes draws to a conclusion. Paddy White and Graham Stewart conclude their rally in 19th, while former British Rallycross champion Dennis Bickerstaff is 14th. JJ Fleming in his Focus WRC is 3 places higher in 11th after a somewhat troubled rally. But no such troubles for Nigel Hicklin, with local man Dermot Falvey in the notes. He's 10th on his first Subaru foray. That's 2 places behind a brake-locking Aaron McHale. As the rally progresses, he's developing more of his father Austin's style. Dennis Cronin once again shows his excellent Killarney form, taking 7th in his older spec Subaru WRC. But how's this for back-on form? No international rallying for 7 years, and he finishes 6th. And Stephen Murphy's planning to do the next 5 Tarmac Championship rounds. But the recovery drive has to go to Eamon Boland and Francis Reagan. With their transmission troubles resolved, they take 5th. But for this damage, Gareth Jones could have been higher, but 4th place for the Killarney novice is a superb result, and he could be one to watch in Donegal.
Maybe slippy, 120. Line for 3 left, plus maybe.
While Derek McGarity in 3rd is having to watch himself. He's still feeling very unwell, and it's a dogged drive to maintain 3rd spot. With less than 20 seconds to 2nd place, he might make a charge, but 3rd place points would keep him in with a chance in the Pirelli series.
40. Line for 3 left, minus 150.
3rd place is the reward.
Line for 5 left over crest, 60. Left over crest.
Eugene Donnelly is making a charge in the wet.
Long 2 left, use the road. Use the road.
But he's lucky to get away with this moment on the gap, on the same corner that caught out Derek. He takes 13 seconds off Tim McNulty on the gap, and suddenly there looks to be a chance. Eugene is clearly going for it on the following tests.
Black maybe, 200. Black crest jump at the white, 400 up to the top.
2nd place is a result which finally perks up the genial Macara man.
It was the first smell we've had out of you all weekend.
Well, there's a crowd of boys down for the stag weekend, a crowd of Paul's friends there, so we're just trying to get in the spirit of it with a pissy enough weekend, so maybe we'll make up for it today.
Tim McNulty and Anthony Nestor are about to have cause to celebrate. Tim had a last-minute scare on the gap, with Eugene taking back those 14 seconds, but it wasn't their only scare, as this slide on the roadworks at the top of the test illustrates. Tim's reply on the Ballochbeamer and Cara Lake tests puts Eugene back in his place. This time, he's looking like he can handle the pressure admirably. Going more than okay, Tim and Anthony take the Pirelli Pierce Subaru to a resounding win, and they're understandably delighted.
Stuck for words for once, but yeah, it is fantastic. Yeah, what a rally and you know, Rally of the Lakes. Put your name beside all those greats that came that I watched going up the gap for years, and you know, to win a rally like this, it's not even a dream. You just wonder what it's like. And then it happens, so it's fantastic.
Well, we all knew you could do it.
You're about the only... I didn't know I could do it.
The leaderboard shows that just 42 seconds was the winning margin. In the Pirelli Championship race, Eugene Donnelly has strengthened his lead, with Tim McNulty moving into 3rd.
Next week's programme, we move from the World Rally cars to the Group N contenders. And what a lineup we had here. Seamus Leonard there, Alan Ring, James Foley, and of course we also had the man himself, Gary Jennings. It promised to be great action.